If you've been doing Java for quite some time now, you know that Java has always known to be quite verbose, quite difficult to learn, slow, and also it's dying, right? So in this video, I want to show you what the modern Java looks like. And then you'll see that perhaps you're going to start to fall in love with Java if you haven't, and also say to majority of my students, including universities, the reason why they teach Java is because Java helps you to learn many things that other languages don't offer, and when you switch, it's much easier for you to learn. And I will say within the academy that we have that you should be an engineer, right? So in the academy, we give mentorship, right? So if you need help, we give you mentorship and we help you to become an engineer that AI cannot replace. So in here, you should see that we have the classic class main and then public static void main string args. And I remember teaching in boot camps and lessons, like live lessons, explaining all of this was always challenging, and we used to take maybe, I don't know, a couple hours just to understand. And even though we had to come back, so okay, so static, I'm going to teach you later. Void, I'm going to have to teach you later. Main, why is it main? I'm going to have to teach you later, right? So the way Java looks today is like this. So we go from all of this in here into, so IntelliJ actually is giving me auto suggestions. So I can get rid of this like this. And you can see that now it's much simpler. So if I go back in here, System.out.println, hello, have a look. So it goes straight to something like this in here. And also io.println, I can replace this with static import. And now it just looks like this, println, and then hello. So nice and beautiful, right? So this now is Java, and this actually has been out for some time now. And I'm going to show you some of the things that we can do now with Java, and you'll see that it's completely different and it feels really modern. So the first thing is, so if you want to create variables, so before you had to specify strings, int, long, boolean, etc. But now, if you want to define a variable, you just say var. So var, and then here I'm going to say, for example, is adult equals to, and then I'm going to say false, for example. So this is a boolean that takes true or false. But equally in here, I could just change this into hello, for example, right? And then I need to actually change the variable name. So I can say message in here, hello. So you see that we no longer have to say boolean in here. And then you can see that now I have to change the data type in here. Okay. Now there are places where we still need to use these types, and it's always good for you to know types. And obviously, there's nothing wrong with you actually saying message and then or boolean message equals to true, because you always want to have a strictly typed language, right? So if you've done some JavaScript before, the reason why we have TypeScript is to avoid things like this, right? So writing JavaScript without TypeScript, it's really a pain. And yeah, so TypeScript is there to solve the issue, which Java in here has by default. Okay, so if you want to have variables, literally this is how you do it. So var and then number and then 1, for example, equals to, and then 20 or 10, and I can say comma and then 20, and I can duplicate this, and then here I can say number 2, for example. And then I can basically say print line, and then I can add these two numbers. So number 1 and then plus, and then 2, or sorry, number 2. All right, cool. So you can see that this is really clean. Now, the other thing that we have in here is, for example, if you want to define a complex type, i.e., you want to represent something in the real world. Maybe you want to represent a person, a car, for example. How do you do this? Well, before we had to say class and then person or car in here, and then we had to add all the fields, the getters, setters, toStrings, hash code, and all that stuff, and it was long. Now, what we could do is I could just say record in here, so record, and then the name of it, and then parentheses, and then here I can actually now specify all of the attributes. So maybe I want to have a string, and then reg, and then number, comma, and then maybe we want to have the brand, for example. So string, and then brand. Cool. So you can see that, nice and easy. And this is actually a one-liner. Amazing. The other thing that we can do now with this is that we can take this right here, and if you want to create a brand new car, you just say var in here, and then let's say in here we want to have a Ferrari equals to new, and then car. Have a look, this is beautiful. So new car, and then I can say the reg number is 123, and then the brand is Ferrari. So Ferrari, just like this, right? And you can see that we have reg number and then brand. So this is not Java, this is IntelliJ actually. So I can disable this by pressing command and then enter, and then do not show hints for the current method. There we go, and you can see that this is much cleaner. All right, cool. So this is it. And then obviously if you want to have another class, for example, so record and then person, and then you want to say that this person has a name, and then in here, and then you want to say that this person actually owns a car, you could just say car and then car. There we go. And this actually has to be, oh sorry, not like that, but curly brackets, and there we go. And then now if I want to create a person, I could just say var person equals to new, and then person, and then here the name is, I don't know, Alex, comma, and then the car is the Ferrari. There we go, cool. So this is basically how you model things in the real world. Let's not show hints again. I don't know, it should have just disabled for everything, but you can see that this looks really good. And then I can say in here print, so print line, and then here I can say person, and if I right click and then run this class in here, you can see that here we have 20, so 10 plus 10 is 20, and then person name Alex, and then this is the toString representation of this person in here. Cool. The other thing I want to show you is the switch statement. So the way that we write switch statements now has changed over the years. So in here, say for example, I want to switch on the person, right? So I want to switch on the person, I don't know, name or reg number or the brand, for example, right? So I can say string, for example, and then I want to say result equals to, and then I can say switch, and let's actually switch on the brand, for example, right? So I'm going to say person, or actually yeah, so person dot, and then we want the car. There we go. And then let's also say dot and then brand. So I want to switch on this in here, and what I want to do is I want to make sure that, so I'm going to have a case in here, and you can see that we have case, null, and then default. So let's just add these two, or actually sorry, not even those two, but let's just say case, and then here let's just say Ferrari, and if this is the case, it goes like this. I can basically return a value. I can say expensive, for example. Otherwise, so semicolon, and then we're going to have the case, so case, null, and default, and then here I'm going to say cheap. Okay, so if you want to handle the null independently, you can, But have a look. This is how we define the switch statement. So if let me see if I can revert this. So yeah, so old style, have a look. This used to be the old style, how we write switch statements, right? And now this is much cleaner. Beautiful code. All right, cool. Now, if you've done Java for a very long time, you would have seen this code in here, where we know that the object, so object is the mother of everything in Java. And let's just say object O, and here I'm going to say equals to new, or let's just say in here, object O equals to person, right? So you'd have seen this code in here. So if, and then O, and then instance of, and then person. So if this was the case, then you would cast, right? You just say in here, person, and then P equals to, and then you'd cast like this. So you'd say person, and then this would have been, so this would have been O in here, right? So O, just like this, right? And then you could say P dot car name, etc., right? Now, the way that we can do this now is like this. I'm going to remove that. So we can actually say in here, P, just like this. So if O is instance of person, then we can actually extract the person itself right here. And now I can do anything in here. So P dot, and I will look the same thing, get car dot brand, etc. Even better, right? So say for example, I say print P dot, and then let's just say car, and P dot, and then name, for example. So in here actually, so P, yeah, so P dot car, and also P dot or println, there we go, P dot, and then name. Okay, so we're just getting the values for the person itself. So in this case, we can actually destructure things. So in here, we can just get rid of the P, and then I can just say parentheses, and then var, and then I can say car, comma, and then also the name. So var, and then a name. So this is something that we've seen with JavaScript. So destructuring, so something very similar. And now we can get rid of P dot. And have a look, this is beautiful code, okay? The same way that you used to create methods, so nothing has changed. So in here, if I basically take a method, so say for example, we want to have a method that takes an input and then uppercases the result, for example. So the same way you used to do it before, it hasn't changed. So here, string, and then to upper, and then here you say string, the input that it takes. So I'm going to say S for string, and then here I'm just going to say return, and then S dot, and then to uppercase. Okay. Now, one thing to bear in mind is that if you're doing stuff with functional programming, okay, so if you working with lambdas, streams, so what you can use actually, you can use the functional or java.util.function package that allows us to write this in here as a function. So the way it goes, or the way it works is I can say function, and then inside of this function it takes a string and then returns another string in here, so string, and I'm going to say my func in here and equals to, so this takes the same thing, so S in here, so S is the same as this. And then I can say S dot to, and then uppercase. Okay, so I don't necessarily need to say return in here because it's a one-liner. And even better, so in here, even better. So if I put this on a new line, so I can just replace with method reference. Have a look. So func that takes a string, returns a string, that's the name of the function. And then string colon colon and then to uppercase. Now this is really cool because once you start to work with streams, so say for example we have a list, so list dot of, and in here I'm going to say a comma and then b, and then here I can say dot and then stream and then dot and then map in here, so map, and have a look. So map takes a function by consumers, or multi. So depending on the function that you're using, right? So the method that you're using, but here I want to map, and I want to basically invoke. So I could say basically, so this takes the s, and then I could say s dot, and then to, and then upper, or sorry, to, and then upper, and then pass the s inside like that, dot, to, and then list, right? So to list, there we go. Or, right? So, or I could just pass my function directly. So here I can say my, and then func. And even better, I could just get rid of all of this and then just pass like this. So map and then my func. Cool. And obviously I can change this to var and then uppers equals to, and then list dot. And if I in here println and then uppers, let's just run this, right click, run, have a look, A and B. Cool. So I'm gonna leave it here, and hopefully you got a taste of what Java looks like, and you can see that this feels so different. Now obviously, like functions, this is not new, right? And usually people are not aware of this, right? But we cover all of this within our community. But yeah, so this is the Java in 2026, and moving forward, and as you see that Java is just getting better and better and better, and it's not going away. So that's the key, it's not going away. And yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you love Java or if you hate Java. And yeah, so for now, and I'll see you in the next one. Assalamu alaikum.